Coming in at number 6 on our 2023 organizational value rankings, we are going to go, drum roll please, with Jakob Chychrun.
Jakob Chychrun. Yeah, this was a big deal when Jakob Chychrun was brought in. Pierre Dorion, it became a bit of a joke, being like, Dorion's looking for right side defenseman. Dorion's looking for a defenseman. Who's looking for a defenseman? The Ottawa Senators. And I honestly didn't think they were going to pull that deal off, Ross. There were teams that were very interested, teams that were offering big offers, according to rumors that we heard. And then all it took is me turning off my phone on airplane mode on the way to Cabo for that deal to drop. And when I landed, you broke the news to me, and we had a sensational trip, that's for sure. And having Jakob Chychrun in the mix on this team, he's really, as health permitted, I hate saying that, but you have to asterisk it, he really is that missing piece that this D-core needed, because with Sanderson coming in here, they needed a guy that could play on the right side, that was responsible defensively, but could also put the puck in the back of the net, and Jakob Chychrun can do both of those things.
Yes, he can. He played 48 games last year, some injury, but also you might remember the Arizona Coyotes just shut him down because they didn't want to risk injury when a trade was imminent. So he basically just sat around for 3 weeks leading up to that trade. In 48 games, he had 9 goals, 24 assists, 33 points, 30 penalty minutes, and between playing for Arizona and Ottawa last year was a +7. 6'2", 220-pound left shot defenseman, Canadian, 25 years old. He's got some American blood in him as well, but he has represented Canada on the world stage. So we'll go with Canadian for Jakob Chychrun. But Pilsy, what really jumped out, because I had never really put 2 and 2 together, right? You know that Jakob Chychrun played 12 games with Ottawa, had 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. But I had never added together his point production with Arizona. He actually finished second among Sens defensemen in points last year. Sanderson had 32, Chychrun had 33, except Chychrun, again, missed 35 games. So it's down to the point where it's like, man, everyone touts him for being this solid, rock-solid defenseman. Mike Kelly talking about how he has one of the most active sticks in the league defensively. You notice it right away when you play him. One hand on his stick, defending with a huge perimeter around him. And then you look at the numbers, you're like, wait, but he's an offensive defenseman.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and most offensive defensemen, you're looking at them and you're like, man, they rack up the assists, or look at all those power play points. But this guy's a goal scorer. Like in 2020, 2021, he had 18 goals, 23 assists, almost more goals than assists. Math guy for a defenseman here.
Led all defensemen in the NHL in goals that year.
Yeah, I believe it. And Ross, I was looking at his highlights from last year, watching the Arizona goals as well. And man, this guy can rip it. His wrist shot is incredible. Like that game up against Columbus where he gets that cross ice pass, holds, wrist shot, bar down and in. That was such an exciting moment. And Ross, just a little aside, the Sens were out shooting the Columbus Blue Jackets 22-3 at that point in that game. So that was utter domination, and Chychrun kind of got to cash in there. But yeah, I want to touch on his defensive game too, because that's the thing. Thomas Chabot has never had a partner that, well, I'll stop myself there, because Dylan DeMello was a great defensive defenseman, and that was a great yin and yang pair. But DeMello is not on the same level as Jakob Chychrun. But that's the thing. If Thomas Chabot can worry less about being responsible defensively and have a guy that can take care of that for him, I think he can succeed so much more, because we did see some blunders defensively from Thomas Chabot when it was Zaitsev or plug in any random Ottawa Senators defenseman that was paired with him. He wasn't exactly able to pick up the slack while producing offensively. He can't do it all. Like, you can't blame him there. So having a guy like Chychrun that will help out defensively on when opponents are coming in transition, good gap control, I think is going to help him out a lot. And it's not like Jakob Chychrun can't handle himself with the puck and producing offensively either. So it's not like teams are going to just be like, hey, let's just dump it in on Chychrun's side of the ice every time and then we'll pounce on him. No, that's not going to be a strategy that's effective, in my opinion. So could this finally be the proper partner for Thomas Chabot? I hope so.
I hope so too, because Ottawa paid a hefty price to get him, a first-round pick that ended up being 12th overall. Daniil Boot was the pick from Arizona there, and then 2 second-round picks as well. So you need Jakob Chychrun to not only be in the lineup, but to be an impactful piece, because as we just rattled off in segment 1, like, the top pairs are all so spread out equally in terms of a top 4. Everyone seems to have a great defenseman on each pair, but to have a second great defenseman on a top pair is something that could really separate the Ottawa Senators from their competition this year. And again, you're hoping that not only will Chychrun take pressure off Chabot on the ice, but he'll allow him to sit off the ice a little bit more and not play 26 minutes and really just be gassed by game 60. Really, I think it's important. Like, some games, man, if things are going the right way, if you get up to an early lead, like, I wouldn't even hate if Sanderson Zub play more minutes in certain games. I don't think they should be forcing Chabot and Chychrun to play too many minutes all the time. Like, be in that 22 to 24 minute range.
Yeah, well, I like the thought process, Ross, of if the Ottawa Senators are down by a goal or two, I want to see Chychrun Chabot out there more often than not. Now, if they're up by a goal or two, give me Sanderson and Zub shutting down other teams' top line so they can hold that lead. I think that's how that's going to play out as the season progresses.
I love it. So what for you would be a successful season for Jakob Chychrun?
Look, I'm going to be honest here. I don't anticipate Chychrun will play a full 82 games. That's not an expectation of mine. I just think with the amount of injuries he's had as a young player, only 25 years old, chances are he is going to get injured. Now, hopefully those injuries can be limited, and in the middle of the season, I want him healthy for the start and the finish. I think if, there's some issues during the middle of the season, you got to deal with that. But I'm going to say I want 60 games out of Jakob Chychrun, 15 goals, 25 assists.
Okay. I think that'd be a strong season. Give me a plus player. Give me a player who's on the ice for, a lot of offensive opportunities and, maybe limiting the defense in the neutral zone, not even allowing guys to set up with that active stick and physicality and using his strength. And again, the X factor is health with Jakob Chychrun. Jakob Chychrun comes in at number 6 on our organizational value rankings. I should mention as well, he signed for this year and next year at $4.6 million, or what we call that, the Zaitsev. So it's a huge improvement on Nikita Zaitsev. And you look at the pairs that Thomas Chabot has been a part of. It's been Ron Hainsey, Dylan DeMello, Nikita Zaitsev, a cup of coffee with Artem Zub as well. And Johnny Oduya in his rookie year? Like
Branson maybe a little.
Yeah, he needs a solid partner, and he'll get that with Jakob Chychrun.